Television viewers of a certain age may recall a show called The Flying Fisherman, which captured the imagination of adventure-minded viewers across America back in the 60s and early 70s. The show was hosted by an affable, unassuming fellow named Roscoe Vernon Gaddis, who also went by the moniker Gadabout Gaddis. Although I never saw The Flying Fisherman on TV, I picked up scraps of information about Gadabout over the years and have long been intrigued by this fishing show pioneer. So imagine my surprise when, while grabbing a bite to eat at the North Country Rivers Whitewater Rafting Center in Bingham, Maine, I noticed a big framed photo of the man. Apparently, I was in good company and in the right place for outdoor adventure. Explore New England is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, your local REI co-op. REI believes a life outdoors is a life well lived. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And visitnewengland.com.
Just about a mile above the little town of Bingham, Maine, on the famous Kennebec River.
Bingham, Maine is Gadabout Gaddis country, and where the TV star would eventually make his home. Indeed, Gadabout would often fly in on his single-engine Piper Cub, and the small grass airstrip behind the rafting center bears his name. He loved the woods and waters of this part of Maine, and it's easy to see why.
Fish. It's all you need when you got a good rod with a good spring tip action.
Today, Bingham still offers world-class fishing, especially the waters of the Kennebec River, which are home to brook, brown, and rainbow trout. But I wasn't really here to fish. While I don't know if Gadabout was into upland bird hunting, he sure settled in a great spot for it. Woodcock and ruffed grouse abound in the area, which features plenty of new-growth timber, creating coveted cover for local hunters. Hunters such as Soren Siren.
I call it bird therapy or hunting therapy. I really enjoy being alone a lot. So I am a lot of a solo hunter. I do have a couple of friends that I hunt with. We hunt safe, and we have the same type of ethics in the woods. Going into the woods just gives you that peace of mind. I've seen so many things over the years. You know, you've seen two-bull moose fighting. Those kind of things, they make it, you know, and those are those memories that you never forget.
There it goes, woodcock. Whoa! I could have caught it with my hands. He went like that and then banged it.
In October, Soren was kind enough to let me tag along on a hunt with filmmaker and Project Upland founder AJ DeRosa and his wire-haired pointing griffin, Grim. We started at a cover that included an overgrown apple orchard intersected by stone walls, prime habitat for both grouse and woodcock.
Nice and tart. These are antique apples. So these are like old world brands, you know what I mean? Yeah, so a lot of times like a company, Fedco will come out and they'll graft these things and they'll take them to try to get some.
No kidding.
Moving. Nope, bird up. Come on over here, guys. Point.
No, we already bit that.
He repositioned. That's why I thought it was a grouse one. He repositioned.
So what makes the whistling sound that you hear?
They just. I
don't know what primary feathers or something?
No, well, it could be the feathers.
Come here, bud. Need some water.
So that is a bird that is meant for thick undergrowth and eating worms.
Yep.
Purpose built.
Yep.
How many do you need to make a meal?
That's an appetizer.
I guess
That's an appetizer.
Depends on how many you're feeding, right?
Yeah, true.
I have a couple aging in my refrigerator right now, so I'm on my way to a nice meal this weekend.
Oh, you can age them?
Yeah. All right, hunters are stewards of the environment. We have a lot of money that we spend that goes towards all sorts of conservation. So our license fees, our ammo, anytime that we buy any firearm, that Pittman-Robertson Act, I'm telling you, has put tons of money back into the environment. So there's a lot of organizations out there that people, Ducks Unlimited, Rough Grouse Society, there's all sorts of different things that put money back into having this environment right here. So I've recently, after 25 years of teaching physical education, I am the new outdoor leadership and skills instructor at Somerset Career and Technical Center in Skowhegan, and I get to teach kids all this. Currently we're doing hunter safety and archery safety online. I do whitewater canoeing with them. We do canoe trips, and I'm utilizing a lot of resources with inland fisheries and wildlife, game wardens, biologists. It's a great opportunity, and it services all of the upper Kennebec Valley.
Scott Newton never met Gadabout Gaddis as a kid growing up in the Bingham area, but he sure heard a lot about him. An avid outdoorsman, Scott is co-owner of 201 Power Sports, an ATV and snowmobile outfitter and service center on Route 201. Of course, ATVs weren't even a thing when Gadabout was living here in the 70s, but he no doubt would have loved their versatility and ability to access remote and beautiful spots. Mainers have embraced ATV riding in a big way, and the state now boasts the largest network of connected ATV trails in the United States.
Yeah, so this is all a volunteer-driven trail system, right? If it wasn't for our volunteers, we wouldn't have trails. I mean, there's no paid positions. Most of the people in the club are average age, 60 to 65 years old. It's literally the mean age. You know, we're the youngest in the club. We're 34 years old. There's nobody between us and their 50s. So, I mean, between them and you know, bridging the gap with landowners, I mean, Weyerhaeuser and some of these other, Wagner, Irving, you know, these are all big major landowners of the state. And, you know, without them working with us to have that access, us keeping their roads up to par, you know, we don't have these trails.
I would say, though, the riding community as a whole is a great network of people out here. If you get stuck on the side of the trail, you have a flat tire, you know, it's okay to flag people down. They're gonna stop and they're gonna be willing to help you. And if they can't help you, they'll give you some sort of advice, or the next person will stop.
Before Scott and I hit the trails, some breakfast was in order. So we headed out from the 201 headquarters and soon found ourselves at Thompson's Restaurant, a local gathering spot with good hearty food and a friendly down-home atmosphere. Owner Jay Strickland often makes the rounds during breakfast, distributing piping hot donut holes to his customers. Well-fed and caffeinated, Scott and I headed off through the vast network of trails that intersect the spectacular Maine countryside. Our itinerary included a stop at the Bingham Wind Farm, which runs along a high ridge amid spruce and hardwood forest. Constructed in 2015 and 2016, the site comprises 57 towers, making it the largest wind farm project in the state.
Well, where does this power go?
I mean, it goes into the grid ultimately, but a lot of it gets outsourced to Canada, even down into Boston, Massachusetts, where, you know, there's a higher power demand.
Oh, really?
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you don't really, you can't really gain a sense of the perspective until you get underneath one. You know, you see one from afar and you're like, those look pretty big, but you don't really know until you get underneath one.
Well, the fins themselves are 150 feet each. Usually when they were coming into town, I mean, it could take them 15 minutes. It might take them 30 to make a 90-degree turn at the bottom of Route 16.
Oh, wow.
Just to get them up here.
Yeah, I can't imagine that, you know, what it took to put these things up, you know, and install them and assemble them.
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of these road structures were built. Most of it was just clearing the land to really get, you know, more wind force on them.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, and this is one of your trips, right? That you recommend, you know, an ATV trip that people who rent from you can take.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's cool about this is you can see this on a 2-hour trip, right? Which is our shortest trip we do. Which is really nice. You know, you have this amazing view in the background, and this is a view that, you know, the Maine trail's right down here below us. We drove by this year after year after year, and somebody said, I can't believe you haven't been to Tower 1. So I happened to drive up here doing a shoot with ATV Illustrated, and found this and was like, oh my God, what have we been missing out on? And then it kind of dawned on me, like, everybody that we rent to can see this. I mean, it's very obtainable. It's 45 minutes an hour to get up here, and it's the same to get back.
Yeah,
you know,
and like you said, you got this incredible vista and a great little spot to have a picnic.
Yeah, you got Sugarloaf Mountain right there, which is sort of that rounded mountain with that little, for lack of a better term, a nipple on the top.
Right.
You know, and that's the TOS tower. Then you've got Coburn Mountain over here. You know, I proposed to my wife on top of that mountain.
Nice.
It's 4,300 feet tall. It's the tallest mountain in Maine you can snowmobile to the summit of.
Oh, okay.
And it's groomed all the way to the top.
The one with the double crest there? Yeah.
Then you've got Moxie Mountain right over here, which we were looking at as we were leaving town this morning. And then you've got that sort of Forks region right there in the valley where they do the whitewater rafting trips. You've got Moxie Falls up there. I mean, it's just an abundant amount of resources.
Yeah, it's amazing, and not a man-made structure to be seen.
Really. Right. About the only thing is that one power line coming from the dam.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful country you got up here.
So we still offer a standard, you know, Sportsman 570. I mean, our entire fleet is a lease program through Polaris. So we're part of Polaris Adventures. We're one of their outfitters nationally. There's 100 of us in the country. So the nice part is you're always getting a new unit. It's not beat on. We're not limping this thing along year after year to, you know, get the most value out of it. We're offering 2-seat razors. We're offering 4-seat razors with just an incredible suspension. I mean, it's just night and day compared to where it started. And this year, we've brought in what they call the Polaris RS1, which is a single-seat 1,000cc engine, and it's on a side-by-side platform. So rather than its predecessor, the Ace, which is on an ATV platform, a lot tippier. This thing is much more stable. You can see where your tires are planted. It has a articulating rear suspension so that your rear arms are constantly moving versus, you know, like a stiff base. It's a lot more flexible.
ATV riders, rafters, kayakers, snowmobilers, and others seeking outdoor adventure in the Bingham area will find a good home and good food at North Country Rivers, right on Route 201. North Country offers clean, comfortable, modern cabins and can arrange whitewater rafting and moose safari trips. The cabins are great for groups or families and also afford immediate access to the area's ATV and snowmobile trails, as well as fishing on the Kennebec River, which flows right past the property. My ATV ride with Scott Newton continued through the miles and miles of trails that wind through these northern Maine woods, leading to many special places and experiences.
Tasty. So you just can be driving around back here, right, in your ATV, and you just come across blackberry bushes like this?
Yeah, and it's free reign. You just take what you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Do some people make ATV trips specifically for that reason?
Yeah, we even have a friend of ours, her and her daughter go out and they pick, they'll spend half a day picking berries. They'll go back, they'll make, muffins, they'll make, pancakes, pies, or
What, they just get a huge bucket of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow,
Just sit there and spend an hour or two.
Nice.
There's different places you can stop with blueberry patches. There's actually a blueberry farm out by Kingsbury Pond. You can go in and pick, by the quart and that kind of thing.
Oh, nice. And also, do you get raspberries in some of these places?
We do, yeah. The red raspberry is a little harder to find, but the black raspberries are pretty common up here, and a huge food source for black bear, right? And black bear is a big thing up here in terms of the hunting industry.
Yeah.
It's one of the larger revenue generations in the state, actually.
Are there places where you can find wild apple trees too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh cool. You have to look out for that.
An Indian cucumber.
No kidding.
So, it's about the crunchiness and texture of a cucumber, but it's full of water, so it's really good for hydration.
I can't believe you.
I swear to God, I'll eat one with you. Minus the small amount of dirt.
Yeah, it tastes just like a cucumber. Cucumber tasty. That's wild.
Although it was comforting to know that I could rely on tiny roots to survive in the Maine wilderness, a home-cooked meal sounded a good deal better. And I found just that at an unlikely establishment called Papa Joe's Home Cooking.
Hi there.
Owned and operated by Joanne Goodridge, Papa Joe's is a must-stop for ATV riders, or anyone looking for tasty comfort food at a reasonable price. Menu items include pulled pork, lobster rolls, fried haddock, scallops, and more. But the real specialty is Joanne's amazing homemade pies.
I learned to cook when I was about 7, 8 years old. I more or less did it on my own. Yeah, I was brought up in a two-room log cabin with 7 people. I'm a backwoods woman. I'll tell you a story. When I was about 7, I was making cookies, and they come out beautiful. And my brother went to eat one, and he spit it out. And come find out, I'd put in a half cup of baking soda instead of half teaspoon. So that's how I started. And then my neighbor way up on the hill, she was a big help. Her name was Hilda Vows, and she was a big help. And from there, I just experimented with a lot of foods, and I just loved to cook. Well, I've got my customer relation stick. I ain't got it down here right now, but it's a rolling pin about this long, and I used to show it to customers. Get smart with me. If I have anybody in a bad mood, I get them out of it. They don't forget me once they leave.
I can see why.
Just when I thought my ATV adventure was about over, I learned that Scott had another surprise in store. This one of an aquatic nature. Aside from renting ATVs and snowmobiles, 201 Power Sports offers pontoon boat excursions on nearby Wyman Lake, actually a part of the Kennebec River. And Scott took the helm for a short cruise to scenic Houston Brook Falls.
Yeah, so the public sites are on 2 different islands. One's a smaller one than the other, and they're first come, first served, so it's kind of cool. I mean, assuming you've got a boat to get you out to them, you can camp there for up to 2 weeks. You may or may not have to pay a $4 per person fee to stay there.
Oh man, it's really cool. So you just kind of make your way into this like little cove and then come around the corner and there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but you're saying the water level's really, really low right
Really low. We're really fortunate we're in here. Typically it's up another 3, maybe even 4 feet at times.
Yeah. What a great little spot though. Come in here, have a picnic, go for a swim or something.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Makes good pictures. Kids love climbing up around on the falls. There's a cool little pool at the bottom
can you swim in the pool at the bottom?
It's not super deep. It's more of like a bird bath.
You can splash around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it stay cold year round?
It's usually pretty chill, but it does warm up this time of year. It's probably high 60s, low 70s. So for New England, you know, fairly warm.
Oh yeah. Nice spot. Really cool.
Seeing the falls put a nice bow on my visit to Bingham, but it turns out that the Maine woods had one more surprise in store. One that old Gadabout himself would have loved to get on film.
There's the moose right there. He's swimming across.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's a full moose. Check it out. I've only seen a moose swim across the lake 3 times in my life.